What's up, martial arts fanatics? Welcome back. As always, I'm Coach Greg, and today we're doing another Q&A. Today I'm answering the question, I'm a southpaw fighter. Do you have any videos on southpaw versus orthodox? I'm looking for some tactics I can use. I like to fight there from southpaw, but I'm looking for more tactics I can use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend get my book on the Nubian fight system. It's available on Amazon. Shameless plug. I also have a video coming out soon on dynamic striking, so be on the lookout for that. We talk about this a lot in the Nubian fight system. I'm a big fan of fighting from southpaw because of the range advantage it gives us and the access my kicking has for attacking to the open side of the body. So if I want to keep an outside game, I like the southpaw side better. Personally, I believe even if you are right-handed, southpaw is a better stance. It favors a kicker who is good at fighting from the outside range while denying them as much easy access to me with powerful punching. Now, if I want to engage that and I want to push the fight into that range, I'm going to step forward to close stance. But for the most part, I like to play a safer game, and I want to deny them their best weapons while taking advantage of my own best weapons. So the southpaw stance works really well for that if you are a dominant kicker. A lot of wrestlers and people who are good at wrestling like to fight out of the southpaw stance because they're used to shooting off their right. So if you are one of those two categories, I think southpaw works better. I think the advantage of southpaw is because with my foot at the same distance to their lead foot, it puts my head way back. It gives me a huge response time. That's the nice thing about it. So let's talk about a couple things that you're going to hear some common things referred to, and I'll talk about a couple things that I'm going to add in as well. I'm going to try not to make this video super long. There's a lot I can say on this subject, hence why I wrote a book, okay? When we do this, the two major things you're going to hear people talk about is top hand position and outside foot position. Whenever you talk about southpaws, these are the two things you're going to hear. Southpaw, because of your range, you tend to see more of this lead hand being active on the outside, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, MMA, I don't care. Lead hand is going to be more forward because I'm going to be taking up and clogging this lane here, right? I'm going to generally try to have my hand on top of theirs so that for them to access me, I denied their ability to easily access me while I have the ability to easily access them. That is generally the thought process. You do have to be careful though, because if the guy is savvy and your hand's a little bit too far out or something like that, maybe you're putting too much constant pressure on, you can leave yourself exposed for inside attacks. So you gotta think about it this way. If this guy's constantly on top of my hand, what's to stop me from just getting the inside, clearing a lane, and throwing a cross behind it? Well, this is where the tactics side comes into play. So you need to be aware of that as a threat and start having responses for that. And I don't want to go into a whole thing on this video. I'm just going to kind of put some things in your head for thinking about that. The other thing is outside foot position, we're going to talk about a lot. Outside foot position, the advantage is that now I have better access to him than he has from me. If this were orthodox, right, I might do something like here. Sorry, my foot slid. I might do something like here to start changing my angle on him, right? But I already have an opportunity that all I have to do is step to the outside, and I've got this angle, and now for him to access me, he now has to turn to face me. It makes him slow. It makes me able to capitalize on that to easily be able to access him while he cannot easily access me. You can add in things like starting to get behind, things like that. The access to the leg becomes more prevalent here, right? If I'm on the outside foot position, so these are two things you're going to always hear about. However, when we talk about outside foot position, you got to be careful too, because once again, you run the risk of losing the inside position. Imagine, if you will, that his foot steps to the outside here, right? What's to keep me from stepping deep in here and taking advantage of that, right? So you have to kind of understand that there's pluses and minuses that go with anything that you do. So as you're playing with it, consider the risk of losing the inside and low position as you maintain these two things. Now, a couple other things that I like about this southpaw position is, one, I have better access if I want to do my single leg because his front leg is close to my front leg. One of the things I really like about it is as I come in here and I start drawing him into punching, it becomes very easy to access that. So I do really enjoy that aspect. So I tend to shoot a lot more single legs than double legs because I play so much southpaw. The other thing is I like how I have access to this side of the body. The liver and the solar plexus becomes more available, so it's very easy for me to level change and start hitting those body shots. The one thing you're going to kind of lose though is the turning back kick. the turning back kick, because once again, my best targets for it are on this side, works best from orthodox. If I throw it from southpaw, all I kind of tend to hit is the ribs at best, and what generally tends to happen is people kind of skid off on it. You kind of hit the ribs and slide, so you don't really get a lot of good penetration on it. Instead, what I like to recommend is the front leg side kick, as I use my jab, side kick, and leg kick as my primary weapons. So those are a couple things you can start with. Man, it's kind of a complex question because you're basically like asking me this whole like style of fighting, and southpaw is more than even just like a Philly shell, for example, where like there's a lot that goes into fighting from a southpaw. But I personally am a big fan of it. I like doing it a lot. So, like I said, check out the other material that I have out there on it, but these are some things you can start with. In any case, thanks for watching. Make sure you share with your friends.